What's up guys, it's Josh from KeepItTechie, and today I wanted to show you guys another Linux distro called Deepin OS. So as I stated, I wanted to do a quick review and install of Deepin OS. The Deepin Linux team recently released a new stable version of Deepin 20. This latest version comes with a lot of major new updates and improvements, ranging from the look and design, as well as the new visual look to the base repository and the Linux kernel. Like I stated, Deepin 20 has improved on the design and style of their desktop environment. And this is a custom desktop environment, is somewhat modeled after GNOME, and you'll get that GNOME vibe once you get into the actual system and check it out for yourself. But it's very user-friendly and good looking as far as the way they create the colors as well as the icons and all that good stuff. Also with Deepin OS, they have made some changes to the system installer, which makes it easier to use and simpler as far as interaction goes. So let's go on and go to their website right fast so I can show you guys Deepin OS. Okay, so I'm at the Deepin OS main website, and it's deepin.org. And just so you know, Deepin OS is actually developed, the country of origin of this distribution is China. So don't be alarmed when you go to the website and it might pull up in Chinese, but you can easily change the language on the website to English, just so you know that, the origin is China though. But it's still an open source project. You can still verify the code. It uses the Linux kernel, so don't be scared to actually try it out. But like I stated, this is the website for it, and what I want to do is just go through and read about the Deepin innovation is ongoing. So Deepin 20, so this is their latest article. Like you see, this article was released on September 11th, and I already have it open. I just opened it up in another tab. So it says, Deepin is a Linux distribution devoted to providing beautiful, easy to use, safe, and reliable operating systems for global users. Deepin 20.1002 comes with unified design styles and redesigned the desktop environment and applications, bringing a brand new visual look. Besides that, the underlying repositories is upgraded to Debian 10.5. which I forgot to mention in the beginning. Yes, Deepin is based on Debian, but you can see it kind of favors the GNOME desktop as far as the desktop environment. And so let's read a little more. It says, and the system installation supports dual kernels, so kernel 5.4 and 5.7, which greatly improves system stability and capability. What is more, it provides a new launcher, the latest pre-installed applications, enhanced fingerprint support, and system security, all of which ensures better user experience. So I'll read a couple of the titles of each paragraph. So it says unified style desktop environment, personalized notification management, dual kernel system installation, intuitive system installer. So like I said, the installer is very simple to follow, convenient app management, and optimized fingerprint recognition, so you can install it on one of the systems with like the fingerprint reader and get that to work as well. And here are some of the system updates. You know what I'm saying? It says new and upgraded features. So I'll let you guys read this for yourself if you're interested in installing Deepin OS. This goes through the new and upgraded features, and then as well as bug fixes and improvements right here. So you can go through all these fixes and check them out for yourself, but based on what I'm seeing, it looks pretty good. And I also wanted to read a little bit about the Deepin desktop, because you can install a Deepin desktop on a bunch of other different distributions. So it's available. I know I've seen it in the Arch repository. You can install the Deepin desktop environment as well as other distributions. So here we go. It says product introduction. Deepin is an elegant, easy to use, and reliable domestic desktop operating system released by Deepin Technology Co. Ltd. Deepin featured applications have been pre-installed in Deepin. It allows you to experience a variety of recreational activities, but also meet your daily needs. With continually improved and perfect functions, we believe Deepin will be loved and used by more and more users. So that's just information on the actual Deepin desktop. You can go through and check it out for yourself. I recommend you do. Because it's a very nice looking desktop environment. So you might want to try installing it on your current distribution, and then just, you can open up that desktop environment from the desktop manager when you log into the system. And in case you didn't know, and if you're new to Linux, but you can have multiple desktop environments installed on one system. So you can have GNOME, you can have Deepin, you can have KDE, all installed on that one system. And then you can select it in the display manager. You can select what desktop environment you want to open up or log into the system under, and use the system under that environment. So now that we got that done, let's go on and show you guys how to install it right fast. I'll walk through the installation process, and then we'll go through and look at the desktop environment, and so you guys can get a clear understanding of what it looks like when you have it installed. So let's get started. And actually, before I move on, I forgot to show you guys, this is how you download it. You basically hit the download link, and they have multiple options for you to download the ISO. So you just burn that ISO to a flash drive or a CD if you still have one of those laying around, and start the installation process from there. But like I said, it's multiple locations. So they have a straight download. They have a Google Drive where it'll come from Google servers. So it should be a little bit faster than probably downloading it directly from a server that's most likely in China somewhere, or it might be on GitHub. I'm not 100% sure. And then they got a BitTorrent and an ISO repository. And then also check out the MD5 hash just to verify that you're getting it from the right location. So let's get to the install. Okay, cool. So I have the virtual machine created. I'm finna go on and boot it up right fast. One thing about Deepin, it'll go right into the install as soon as you boot up the system. You'll see a pop up. It comes up with like a grub style menu, and you just click the install. All it has is the option to install. So let's go down and start it up right fast. So boom. And I can't get into the desktop in order to adjust the resolution of the screen. So I'm going to have to work with it at this size. So hopefully you guys can see everything, but we'll get into it and go through with this install right fast. I'm going to try to make it super quick. That way you guys don't be sitting here waiting. But the default language is actually Mandarin. As far as I could tell, I don't read Chinese. I don't read Mandarin in any way. So I'm just guessing. So I'm assuming it's in Mandarin. But what we want is the English version. So let's click on English so we can understand what's going on. And so it has a couple things. It has a license agreement as well as an end user agreement, license agreement, as well as the privacy policy. So you might want to check those out. That's one of the things that it pops up, in the beginning once you select your language. So let's hit next here. And this right here is going to pop up if you're installing it on a virtual machine. Just understand that it's like a friendly note that they put into the installer. It recognizes that I'm on a virtual machine, and it'll pop up with this note. So if you installing it directly on your machine, you won't see this note popping up. But it says you are installing Deepin on a virtual machine, which may result in suboptimal performance. For the best experience, please install Deepin on a real machine. So we're going to hit next on that. And the next thing you want to do is select the partition so it can create the partition. So basically I'm going to select the full disk. You can go into the advanced options that allow you to adjust all your partitions if you want to, but it creates it creates everything you need. You got your boot, your root, data, recovery, swap, and the root directories, and it basically breaks them all up into multiple different partitions. You can also encrypt the disk, which I'm not going to do, obviously. But that's pretty much all you have to do is select the disk. If you want to go in the advanced options and change it up, then you can go under there and obviously set up the drive how you want to. And one thing about Deepin, it requires you to have a 64 gigabyte or better hard drive in order to install the system. It's very weird unless I go into advanced, probably. I didn't look to see, but in order to install it, you have to have a 65 or a 64 gigabyte or better hard drive in order to install Deepin OS because of the way they set up the partitions. And I remember back in the day, like looking at Deepin OS, and it required like 20 gig drive, but this is a significant jump, you know, up to the minimum size of the hard drive that you can have to install Deepin. But we good for this. I went on and set up a virtual disk drive of 64 gigabytes. It's not going to take up that on my hard drive because I have the disk set up to dynamic. So it's going to only be the size of the operating system that I install, because I'm not going to install any applications. It's going to come with its default applications, but that's good. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't take up much space on my hard drive. So let's hit next here. Boom. And then now we're ready to install. That's pretty much all you have to do. So I'll put on some tunes at this point. It'll go through the installation. It shouldn't take too long, but I'll be back when it completes. Okay, so the installation is complete. One thing you may have noticed, what you may have noticed with this installation is it didn't ask you to set up like your time zone. It didn't ask you to set up like your keyboard layout. It didn't ask you to set up like the user accounts like in most other distributions installation process. That's one difference between Deepin. It'll set all that up once you boot up the system. So it should bring up another port of the installation. It's like the second port of the installation, and we'll walk through that port as well by setting up the keyboard, setting up all that good stuff. And cool. And as you can see, it already has the language set up because we actually selected that in the beginning. Now there's a keyboard layout, which we're going to select English, and it might have English US and then English over here. So we can hit next, boom, and then we can select our time zone. I'm in Los Angeles area, so I'll use that time zone. Next, and then this is where you set up your account. So let's just type in username and then type in a super strong password. And actually, let's name the PC. I want to make it Deepin. And then also let's select something. Select the piano because I'm a music fan. So cool. Now let's go to the next step. And we already had a network configured. And just so you know, when I typically set up VirtualBox, I set up the network as bridged adapter. That way the system can pull its own IP address. So that's why it has like an IP address for my network. But everything is configured for the network, so we can hit next. And now it'll go into like a tuning phase where to tune the system and get everything else ready for the system to fully come up. So we'll wait for this to finish. I'll put on some more music in case this takes a little while, but we'll wait for that to come back up. Okay, cool. So everything is done. The system is configured. So now we're at the login screen, and I'm gonna go down and fix some things like the resolution because I don't like the way it shows up on the screen like that. But let's log in. But this is how you'll be greeted with the Deepin system. So just go on log in, bring it up, and yeah, this is another thing I forgot that it'll ask you. It'll ask you if you want to use the effect mode or the normal mode. Most by default it'll use the effect mode if you're not on a virtual machine. It should just boot straight into the effect mode, and then you can go in and actually change it if you want to. But I'm gonna select effect mode for this video just so you guys can see, you know, the way it looks in effect mode, which is the way you'll probably see it on your system if you install it fully. So let's go effect mode, and I apologize for not having on my camera, but here we go. I'm back up there, and we'll wait for this thing to come in. Cool. So first thing I want to do is let me go down and fix that display. So if we right click on the desktop, what I did was just right click on it, and then I'm gonna set this right fast because I wanted to show you guys this actual you know, kind of video that comes in. And actually let me turn on my audio so you guys can hear that something's coming out of the machine. But it plays like a little video. It goes through, you know, shows you just some more information about the system. Not really, it's just showing you the same thing really on their website, which is pretty cool. You know, that's one thing, you know, you don't see on other distributions. You know, it gives you like a little video that pops up that just gives you a little information about the system since you first installed it, and it shouldn't show up after this once you have the system up. You know what I'm saying? So let's go down here next, and we can walk through this. And I'm gonna turn off my audio on my desktop again. Okay, cool. So what I'm gonna do is leave it at a fashion mode. Now they have two different modes for the desktop, and I'll show them to you. It may change it up, I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, it changes it up. So this is the efficient mode, which, you know, typically used for people that's, well, I guess it's for people that just want to focus on like the performance of the desktop and all that stuff without caring if it looks kind of pretty or whatever. But I'm gonna stick with the fashion mode or whatever. That way it's got that dock that kind of sits up, you know, it just looks cool or whatever. And most people will probably pick that, in my opinion, because it looks better in my opinion. So let's hit next here, and then there is effect mode and normal mode. So the effect mode, as you can see, it has some opacity and all that good stuff. Normal mode, it'll just kind of look normal. So I change it up so you guys can see, but you know, it squares off the edges, you know, all that good stuff. But the effect mode, you know, it has the rounded colors and all that, the rounded corners and all that good stuff. So that's pretty cool about it. But you can always go in and change this stuff within the properties in the personalization under the control center. So let's hit next, and then you can also pick your icon theme. So one of them I wanted to pick was that Bloom Dark, which I really like. And I'm gonna also change up the theme once I get into the system. But that's pretty much it right there once you set up the system. Now let's go on and go through everything on the system so you guys can get a clear understanding of how to actually use it. You know what I'm saying? It, as you can see, it looks totally different from most of the distributions I've reviewed on my channel. So we'll start it off by just hitting, this is the recycle bin. So they put the trash bin right here, which is, pretty cool. Most distributions, they'll have like a desktop icon where they put it down here on the board, the taskbar, which was, it's pretty cool. So you can click that and go to the trash bin. This is the power button. So if we hit that, it should bring up, all those options. And one cool thing about this one, I like, it kind of reminds me of KDE, the way it looks on here. So let's get out of there. I just clicked away from it. And then here we go with our time and calendar. And if you click on it, it opens up a cool calendar app. So that's pretty cool right there. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen that on any distribution as well. Here is the onboard, and I can't remember. Oh, that's what that is. It's an onboard keyboard. So, it displays a keyboard so you can click with your mouse, or if this is like a tablet, that would be, beneficial in that purpose. And then here we go with the sound. No, actually, I'm tripping. That's not the sound. This is the message board. I forgot about the notification center. So it'll pop up with notifications over here. You can go through, and that's kind of like a Windows 10 feel. It has the notification bar on the right hand side. Bring that up, and then clear out your notifications. Like when you get updates on the system, they'll pop up in there, saying that you can update these applications on your system. If you want to update them now, click the button, and that's pretty cool. So one thing I really liked about this, this is your typical power, network, and volume settings. Now right here is the arrow, which it kind of tripped me out when I was messing around with it before, but you can hit that to hide it, which is super cool. So you can clear up space on the taskbar if you need to, and only show it if you want to show it. You know what I'm saying? So most of the time when I set up my system, I go in and change my power settings. I go in and change my network settings if I need to, like VPN, set up a VPN, all that good stuff, as well as my volume settings. I don't really touch that often. It's good to have that option, to kind of hide it or whatever, just to get it out the way, so it's not clouding up the taskbar. So all right, so the next thing, this is the settings. So these are your typical things that you would see on like a dock or something. So you can go right into your settings, that'll pull that up. And one thing I want to change up, so you guys can actually see a little better, is I'm gonna go into and change it to dark mode, which I really like. So I just wanted to set that up as the mode so you guys can see a little better. As you can see, it's got some opacity down here. It kind of adjusted everything. It still has that icon pack or icon theme that I originally set up, but the dark actually looks a whole lot better to me, so you guys can see better on the screen. But it's your typical settings menu. It's similar to XFCE, GNOME, all the settings menus. It's pretty much the same thing. You got your accounts. They even have like a Deepin ID, which I never signed up for one. I don't know what it does. I'm assuming it has something to do with like their community. So they have accounts you can set up. But then you can go into your display settings. It's basically all the settings for the system. You know what I'm saying? So you personalize network, notifications, sound, all that good stuff. And when you click on them, like we just seen when I went into the personalization, it kind of opens up a GNOME feel for the settings. So you can go through each one of them, this way. But the main screen is kind of like big buttons or whatever. So you can find what you need, just click into it, and it kind of opens up and make it look like a GNOME style settings manager. So let's go back for that, and we can go down and close that. I'm not gonna go too deep through the settings. I just kind of want to give you guys an overview of the whole system. So this is that same calendar application that we clicked on right here. So you can open it up there, and you can remove some of these. They're kind of like favorites or docked applications. So you can right click on it and hit undock, and that'll undock it for you. And then also they have their own music player. This is Deepin's music player, based on what I remember. Let's go about, yeah, Deepin. So, and they kind of, you know, took a lot of what they have from GNOME. The applications are kind of pretty much like GNOME. They're probably cloned, and they changed some code or tweaked it to look a certain way or work with their system, you know, a whole lot better. And so I didn't mean to minimize it to the tray, but pretty much that's pretty much it. You could just hit there and exit, and that'll close it for you. They also have a picture application. I'll open that up for you guys so you guys can see, but it'll scan, you know, you can import all your pictures on your system once you get them copied over to your new system. And then the next thing is the actual store. So this is the app store, and just show you guys a little bit about it. It's not that, you know, different from any other app store. It's pretty cool, you know, just like them all. You know, it kind of reminds you of the phone. You know, you can go through to the app store, like the Google App Store, and download certain applications that you need. You can just click on them, hit install, and then you can open them from there. You know, it's pretty much the same thing. And then down here at the bottom, you know, you have your updates. So that's part of the update process. You know, you can update everything from here. So let's go down and close this. I'm not sure what this app is, Sun Pingyang or something. Well, anyway, they like I said, the origin of this distribution is from China, so I'm pretty sure they tailor a lot of the applications that they have on here to people from that area. So it's gonna show, you know, a little bit different. Like let me open it back up. I just wanted to show you, like on the main page right here, you'll see some applications like in Mandarin. So it's probably a application that's big in that side of the world, so that's why it's written in Mandarin. So, but it has your typical applications that you would use in other parts of the world, so don't worry about it. Just avoid those applications if you don't want to use them, if you don't know what they mean. But let's go down and move on though. So it comes with default Firefox, by default the Firefox browser. So I'll just open it up right fast. It works, you know, just like any other distribution. You know, a lot of distributions actually come with Firefox installed on it. So and it may take a little while to come up, but yeah, you can adjust it, you know, however you want to. You know, import your settings from another distribution. You know, you can import all your settings and all that good stuff. So boom. So let's go down and close that. And the next thing is the actual file manager. So it's just basically a shortcut to your file manager. And one cool thing about this that I like, it really looks like Windows 10. So if you new to if you're new to Linux, then this will give you that feel of Windows. You know what I'm saying? It has all your main directories right here, as well as over here, you know, desktop, videos, music, pictures, documents, downloads. And then you also have your disks, and they show you right there, you know, how much space you got left and all that good stuff. So that's one cool thing I like about it right there. So the File Explorer or My Directories app, that's pretty cool. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to show you guys, I think it's their own file manager. So yeah, Deepin 5.2, you know, it's their file manager. And like I said, they probably cloned something and redid it, which is, you know, it's cool. That's what a lot of distributions do. They take bits and pieces from other distributions that work or that they like and incorporate them into their own distribution. Now over here, this is the multitask view. So if we click that, you'll see what I'm saying. It'll bring up the other screens. So if you didn't know, in Linux you can have multiple desktops. So you can, like for instance, I'll open up the picture viewer on this screen, and if we go here and let's open up the other desktop, and let's open up the music player again. Boom. Well, we have both of those. We have one of those applications open up on one desktop, and we had the other one open up on the other desktop, and you can switch between them or whatever. And so that'll go back to that first desktop that we had, and you can also add more. And I'm not sure if the shortcut keys work. It's typically Control Alt and then like the right arrow, left arrow, that'll take you to the different desktops, but I'm gonna just click on them because like I said, I'm in a virtual machine. I don't want to, you know, mess up my recording, but that's pretty much it right there. But that'll open up, you know, those different desktops for you. So let's hit confirm, close, and then let's open it up again. But as you can see right now, you know, it's 2 of them. You can even add more to it, so you can have multiple desktops on here, which is pretty cool. So, and the next thing, let's open up that albums again, and then let's also open up the picture, the music thing. If we click here, that'll show the desktop, and then when you click it again, it's just like in Windows 10. I don't know if they removed it, but I know in Windows 10 you can hit the top of the screen, of the left screen. I think it's like a hot something, I can't remember what it's called, but it'll minimize everything real quick. Or it might be the bottom right, I can't remember, but it'll minimize all the applications that you have open on the screen. So on this, you have a button for it, and I think they might have that hotkey in here. You might have to turn it on, because I think a lot of people disable it by default when they used to have it, to where, you know, because it kind of gets annoying sometimes if you trying to go through and do something, you actually accidentally go up to the far left of the screen and it minimizes everything. You know, it gets annoying. So, but here is the start menu. So they call it the launcher, same thing, start menu, whatever. Now one cool thing, you know what I'm saying, these are the options again. So this is the My Computer, or computer file manager, whatever you want to call it, file manager. It opens that up again, and then also it has, you know, documents, pictures, music, and video, and downloads folders. So all those folders are right here as shortcuts when you hit the little launcher. And then also again these settings, so pretty much same little gear wheel right there. Then they have a gear wheel right there as well. Now here is all the applications on the system that it comes with. Now I'm gonna look at them via the categories, but I mean, you can kind of look at them all right there, but I'll just go through the categories so you guys can, you know, kind of see what they are related to. So if we click internet, obviously it's gonna be Firefox, and then it comes with Thunderbird, which is cool. You know, that's like one of the best email clients that you can use on Linux, in my opinion. And it's built by Mozilla, so it's the same company that creates Firefox. So Thunderbird is a real good application. So let's go back. Music, they have that music app, which is Deepin Music. Then video, they have the video or Deepin movie application. They got a screen capture application on here. And actually, let's open it up. But they do have Cheese, which is cool. You know, it's one of those video applications, kind of like Photo Booth or something in Mac OS. And it might take a while to open up. Oh, it's open. I forgot. That's the screenshot. Okay, all right. So never mind. We're gonna try to close that off. But yeah, you can screenshot the system. So I never used that one. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it kind of threw me off for a minute. But yeah, so the next thing, you know, oh, we already went in there. The next thing is graphics. I'm a little bummed out that they don't have GIMP installed. GIMP is, like I said, is the next best thing to Photoshop as far as open source applications, and it's also free. So you know what I'm saying, it's a great application. But they do have a little image viewer, and then the album viewer, and then draw, which is, you know, a basic application. It's kind of like messing with Microsoft Paint from what I remember. I haven't opened up draw in so long, so I'm not gonna open it up now because I'm just a little bummed out they don't have GIMP in here. But other than that, you know, you could do your basic, you know, graphics. And then Office. One cool thing about it, they do have LibreOffice on here, which I think is like one of the best, you know, text editor slash Excel spreadsheet. It's basically a clone, or not a clone, but, you know, an open source version of Microsoft Office. You know, it's the best out there that I know of. I mean, I've seen OpenOffice, but LibreOffice is kind of the best in my opinion. And then they have a basic text editor. I'm pretty sure this is probably a gedit version or their own version. Yeah, it just says text editor, but pretty sure they use like gedit or LeafPad or one of those other applications to create this one for themselves. So now if we go down, system, this is all the, system stuff. You got your terminal, you got your app store, you got all these other, basic applications and all that good stuff. So they also have a manual in here. You click computer, trash can, control center, which is basically a settings manager, bootmaker, device manager, so you can go in and mess with the drivers and all that stuff for your system. Log viewer, which is pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? You can view all your logs on the system, all your system logs from this application. So it's pretty cool. And then also, calendar, print manager, so printer manager, so you can get in there, mess with that. Package installer, and they do have that welcome screen. Again, that could pop up. That'll pop up. You can look at that again. They have a link to it right there. So and one cool thing, also I like to show people the system manager. This one actually looks pretty cool. So, but as you can see, it's just a basic system manager. So check it out for yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty cool. And then also we go back in here under other, let's see, user feedback. I think that links back to their community page where you can, like a forum page where you can give feedback and all that stuff. I think the last time I looked at Deepin OS, the page or the main page was mostly in Mandarin or some other language that I didn't know. And then you can use the translator, but it works and it doesn't work, depending on the language that it's trying to translate it to. So it's a little hard to give feedback. I wouldn't recommend if you in America, don't worry about the feedback. They probably have, a good amount of support, you know what I'm saying, especially over there. I'm not saying don't give feedback, because feedback is very important, you know what I'm saying, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing this video. So if any of the developers actually watch my video from Deepin OS, they could check, they could listen to my feedback that I give if need be. But otherwise, if you want to give feedback, you can give feedback, but it's there, the option is there for you. So but that's pretty much it. And if we go back, this is all the applications that I just went through. So I just wanted to kind of show it to you that way. That way you guys can actually see it. So, and what is that? That actually opens it up like in GNOME. That's one thing, for sure it comes from like GNOME. But so it's pretty cool. You can open them all your applications up that way. And you can also search up here at the top. So by default, it actually puts it down on a thing, but they have multiple ways of actually, opening up applications, and you could change them here. You know what I'm saying? If you want them to just show up like that, like a normal like store menu, so to speak. But that's pretty much it for Deepin OS. Check it out for yourself. Let's go through and modify the background. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that one or whatever. So let's set that up as our wallpaper. And ooh, they got some cool ones in here. I might have to steal a few from here. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I hope you got something out of it. If you interested in trying Deepin OS, just go check it out on their website. Download the ISO and do it just like and install it just like I did in this video. If you have Windows or Linux installed, just go down and install VirtualBox. Make sure you have virtualization turned on in the BIOS of your system. Otherwise, you can't run any virtual machines. But check it out for yourself by installing VirtualBox and going through the process of installing it. That way, you can see if you actually like it and you want to try it out on your main machine. But please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. As I stated, I do have a Patreon now where you guys can donate to the channel, or you can, send me a Cash App, send me a couple coins there. That way it'll help me keep my channel up and going. Everything that's donated to me I put it right back into the channel. So I really appreciate the people that are donating to the channel. So thank you guys for checking out the video, and keep it techie.